We are going to be looking at the best differentials for game week 6. Let's get straight into it. So for defenders, you picked Tarkowski, and I'll be honest, I have been the one advocating for DEFCON every single week, and you picked the leader of DEFCON in Tarkowski. I'm
Had to
jealous,
be done.
but explain your thinking.
Yeah. Do you know what? So there's two ways of my thinking, and I hope you guys like this. Make sure you like the video and subscribe. So my first thinking is defensively. Now, West Ham have not been great in terms of the attacking department. Crescencio is trying to find form. Paquette has not been at the races for the last 12 months. Jared Bowen, I feel like everything's trying to go through Jared Bowen. And defensively, I think if you stop Jared Bowen, you stop West Ham. And then you've got Diouf, who flies up and down the left back, area, but he's not an attacking player that's going to get, goals and assists. He's just part of the build-up. So I've been very disappointed with West Ham defensively. They even struggled against the Crystal Palace team last week that were missing. Obviously, Eze's left. Sarr was not there as well. Of course, Adam Morton came back. But West Ham throughout the season so far, we can see that they have been struggling in going forward. So I expect Tarkowski and Everton, a team that I think are solid defensively, to potentially keep a clean sheet. But I tell you what, it's the attacking returns potential. Now, if anyone has seen West Ham play defensively from corners, they have been atrocious. And if you look at Everton and their threat from set pieces, I would probably put them in second or third in terms of very threatening from corners behind Arsenal and potentially maybe even Newcastle, them two at the top, and Nottingham Forest. When you look at Everton in that centre-half area, of course, they've got Jake O'Brien. Of course, they've got Tarkowski. Brantwaite's out at the moment, but they've still got Mikalenko with a good delivery. I think Everton could cause them big trouble from corners. And if there's going to be anyone that could get his head on the end of it, it could be Tarkowski. I think he's nailed on for either an attacking return potentially from a corner or a clean sheet. And DEFCON, we already know he's a monster. He is a must-buy for the underrated.
You know what? I'm jealous because I said it on my video the other day. Every FPL player starts on 2 points when they play 60 minutes. Tarkowski starts on 4 because he's guaranteed DEFCON kind of thing, innit? Which is why I'm so jealous with that pick. One thing I would say though on the corner thing, I saw a tweet today where it was like we were talking about West Ham's corner defensive structure, if that makes sense, and Everton's attacking corner structure, and they said Tarkowski is normally the one screening kind of thing, innit? So that doesn't mean. So that means like someone like a Michael Keane, for example,
could arrive on the end of it.
Is normally the one a bit more likely just to get an attacking return for this game, innit? So that's something I think potentially could keep an eye on. But I've gone to Gavardio. I'll be honest, as soon as he picked Tarkowski, I just had to play safety. And Gavardio is, in my eyes, safety because I don't think he'll play left back. I think Nico O'Reilly will probably play left back because I think he's done very, very well there for Man City. And plus, listen, Burnley, they have caused teams a couple problems offensively, but you still expect
Manchester City have to be keeping a clean sheet.
Rodri back now in the starting 11 as well. You're seeing the improvement that City have made defensively. And more importantly, Donnarumma. I think the impact Donnarumma's had on that Manchester City side is massive.
Huge.
And you can see what, let's say, the confidence that he brings to the rest of the defense. Because there's a couple saves he made against Arsenal where you expect the keeper to make it, but the way the entire City team was going over to Donnarumma was clapping the back. It just shows that the camaraderie, is that the word?
Yeah.
The togetherness in that City defense, which is why I've gone with Gavardio. I think it'll be a very close week with differentials for defenders this week. But listen, let's get into the midfield.
So we're looking at the Manchester City midfielders, and we've both gone for one of each. I've gone with Doku, you've gone with Foden. But there's one thing that's different about these, but there's one thing that's similar. The similarities is they're both playing a bit more central. They're both starting. He's not changed the team now. 3 games in a row, an unchanged lineup. So we know that both are potentially going to start against Burnley. But Doku was rested against Huddersfield. Phil Foden started against Huddersfield. Is that now a negative?
You know what? That's a very, very good point. I think that is something that people could be wary about. But at the same time, I feel like Phil Foden's had a very difficult, let's say, last 18 months in his professional career kind of thing, innit? And now he's picked up a couple decent returns. For example, against Manchester United was brilliant. Against Napoli, picked up an assist. Maybe Pep Guardiola just thinks, yeah, you know what? Phil Foden, just go out there against Huddersfield, enjoy your football, and just continue that good momentum that he's had. So I'm not really concerned, I'll be honest, going into that game on the weekend. Burnley is a great fixture. They're going to sit deep. We know how difficult Liverpool found them to break them down when they were down in that 5-4-1 low block. And Phil Foden is a player in the pockets. We know the impact that he can have. in central areas. He's
Long range
blossomed.
strikes as well.
Yeah, like that year that he won PFA Player of the Year, I think he scored the most goals from outside the box.
Yeah.
And I feel like, listen, Phil Foden at the top of his game is a joy to watch. He's explosive in terms of an FPL pick, in terms of he can go get you 2-3 returns, which is why I picked him. And he's only at 3.6% ownership.
Yeah, great ownership number. And if anyone's looking to bring him in their general FPL when they've got Brentford away next, it could be a very good 2-week punt. The same for
I am, by
Doku.
the way.
Yeah, and exactly, and we'll talk about it on your team. You'll talk about that to FPL Hive community on your team selection. But I think with Doku as well, I think what I love about what he's doing now, which is different, is he's not being a touchline winger. I like how he's getting involved centrally. I like how he's ball carrying. I like how he's being played as sort of a front man alongside Haaland at times as well. And I think if Doku can just execute his final pass, final decision making, final shot better, he could be an FPL monster, but at the moment, we're waiting for him to execute that to perfection. Sometimes he comes in bursts, you'll get a goal and assist. Then he might blank for a few games. I'm hoping that this is the game where he rises, gets a goal and assist, outpoints Foden, and I can win the differential for this week.
So for attackers, again, it is very difficult this week because there's not many attackers underneath 10% ownership. But these two are. And you've gone with Benjamin Sesko. That is a very interesting pick. And I feel like that's a pick that a lot of people potentially could agree with, Ty. Explain your thinking.
I hope people like it, and I hope this is why people subscribe to the channel, trying to give you a differential with a purpose. Benjamin Sesko is obviously looking for his first goal. He's looking for confidence, but most importantly, Man United are too. Beating Chelsea last week, we all know that Ruben Amorim has never got back-to-back wins at the football club. And I think going against Brentford now and Mbumo's former club, Cunha back after playing 30 minutes against Chelsea, Sesko now getting up to scratch. I think Sesko will start. And I'm hoping he'll get some valuable minutes in terms of 70 at least, and he'll get chances to score. I think the big thing for people that they didn't realise in Manchester United, and now look, I'm not saying it's clear-cut chances, but they are progressing. There's opportunities. Man United have failed to convert a lot of their big chances, and in terms of like XG and creation and chances, they are very high across Europe. And I'm hoping that there's going to be a game where it can fully click. And I'm hoping it's Saturday. 12:30 kickoff is early. It can be dangerous. But I think Sesko, if he gets one big chance, I believe he can take it. And when we're talking about differential, this is what we call differential.
That's a very nice pick. And one thing that I spoke about recently as well is Brian Mbeumo has a brilliant cross. Like we've seen it over the years in the Premier League. Sesko is brilliant in the air. Like there's gonna be a point where those two like fully connect, and you're gonna see that Brian Mbeumo left-footed cross, Sesko header. Like you just know it.
Yeah,
you just know it's gonna happen, kind of thing.
Yeah.
We're seeing like Sesko's like let's say aerial presence against Chelsea, for example, for the Sanchez red card. So that's a very nice pick, Ty.
Yeah,
but I feel like my pick is a bit more safer.
But this guy gets picked every week from us in differential, and he fails to really return. So try and sell this to the FPL Hive community because I'm not buying it.
Well, that's fine. But Leeds away is a brilliant fixture. Bournemouth are a brilliant side. Like
and Leeds are underrated for what they've been like this season so far.
Yeah, to be honest, I feel like all the newly promoted sides have been better than I would have thought. Let's say, but I feel like even Nilsson again. Last couple games, he's got a couple returns. For example, against Tottenham, he scored. Against Brighton, he won the penalty, so technically got an FPL assist. Against Newcastle, it was a very difficult game. It was a boring game, first of all, but it was a game where both teams struggled to, like, let's say, create anything. I feel like that game as well, Newcastle set up defensively, like they were unbelievable defensively, kind of thing, innit? They set up with a back three, with the wing backs. They were really, really hard to break down, and that's something I give Eddie Howe a lot of credit for. But Leeds is a different story. Bournemouth are obviously one of the better attacking sides in the league. They started the season brilliantly. I'm going to go with Ivan Nilsson.
I think there will be goals in that game, but I also wouldn't surprise me if Man United score a couple when Sesko is involved. I think this is a very interesting one. I suppose we'll let the comments decide who they like, but also the main thing is the players have got to do the talking on the pitch.
Listen, this week we found it very tough to pick attackers. Defenders and midfielders is probably a bit more options. So down below in the comments, make sure you guys write your 3 differentials. Whoever wins, like we always say, will get a shout out in the next video of the differential challenge. But let's see how we did last week. And last week, Ty, I'll be honest, you won, but I don't think you can celebrate this. And I don't think I can say anything bad either, because this was a shambles from both of us. So for defenders, you picked Juve, I picked Lacroix. Lacroix didn't get DEFCON. Juve actually got an assist, but he still managed to get 3 points just because defensively West Ham were poor. And I think he got a yellow card as well. Midfielders, Gibbs White blank. Harvey Elliott didn't even start. And even if he did, Aston Villa probably wouldn't have scored a goal because Aston Villa are a shambles. And attackers, Even Wilson blanked and Waltermar blanked because it was defensively a very good game from both sides. So that made
So who won this week?
You by 2.
That's what was sorry, connection went who?
This guy's trying to act like his
there we
connection
go,
went.
people. 1-1 in overall score. And listen, you said there's not much to celebrate about. Let me tell you something, Baines, and let me tell everyone in the community. If you win any tournament, if you win any league by 1 goal, or you win the Premier League in a low scoring 70 points, you think Man United fans are going to complain? Win is a win, and that's what I always do. 1-1, and we're on to game week 5. 6.
See,
there we go.
Ty, I'm already in your head. You forgot what week is coming, kind of thing, innit? And let me tell you this: you might have won game week 5, but I'm gonna win the battle. See you in game week 6. Make sure you guys like the video, comment your thoughts on our differentials, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll be back next week when I win.